presentation and any suggestions you may have, because we strive every year to make this better each year and try to bring you subjects that you'd like to hear about. And at the end of the session, we do have someone who will be collecting the forms, but it's not me. Sorry. But she'll be here. Okay, so we have Dr. Wendy she's a chiropractor in Olympia and has been in business almost 25 years. Wow, good for you, that's great. She is the first female chiropractor to become an RKC kettlebell instructor. She is the author of the 7 Steps to Amazing Health. Dr. Wendy has a passion for helping people get out of pain, and her goal as a chiropractor is to make people self-sufficient. She is known as the homework doctor. Oh, so we're going to have homework tonight, y'all. So I would like to present to you Wendy Shower, Dr. Wendy Shower.
Thanks for having me. I have 2 housekeeping things. One is my husband is filming back there, but he will not be getting you. He's right at me. And number 2 is I wish I was like super duper wealthy, but the bands we're going to use today, but they're for purchase. I can't just give them to you. So we have a price back there, so when we're done, Gary will tell you what. So somebody said last year, is it Kaiser Permanente? Yes. Gave them for free. Not Kaiser. Anyway, they gave us these. Oh, mine are a little better. Mine are better. But, you know, that'll work, right? So you don't need extra if you don't need them. Okay. So, in December 2000, I'm at my family's house, and I'm sitting in one of those Papasan chairs. I don't know if you know them. They're like the little curved chair. Super comfy. I'm sitting in it, and, you know, it's probably 3-4 hours. And I decided it's time to go to bed because I opened up presents, I ate, and I went to get out of that chair. And I don't know if you sat in, you know, like you sit, you're cross-legged, you're kind of like in a hunched position. And I went to get out of it, and I had back pain. I didn't have back pain before I went into that chair, and now I have back pain coming out of that chair. It took me 3 years to get out of pain from that supposedly one event. And because of that back pain, it made me a much better chiropractor. And as she said, that one of my biggest things is educating people on what happens with their bodies and what they can do about their bodies. So I've been in practice almost 25 years, and I'm seeing this trend that I'm really not caring for. People, their pain is higher. I'm assuming some of you in here have some pain because that's why you're here. People's pain's higher. It's harder to control, and it seems like new things are starting to happen with people's spines that I haven't seen before. So I don't know, I'm a low-tech kind of gal, so you're not going to see a PowerPoint, you're going to see my easel. So hopefully some of you in the back can see this little tiny picture.
Yeah.
Okay? I guarantee you, some of you look like this. This is the cause of my frustration in my practice. And I've done countless hours on doing rehab and trying to figure out what can we do to counteract this. Most of us are extremely busy, and if I say you need to go exercise, we'll be like, okay, my kids, my jobs, and the list goes on. So I'm trying to figure out how can we deal with this during your day so that changes can happen so that you can feel good and not do that. $86 billion are spent treating back pain. $86 billion. Unfortunately, with me and my injury in that Papasan chair, I contributed to that $86 billion. I had 3 years of doing chiropractic, and I had acupuncture, physical therapy. I had everything to try to get my back better, and I almost lost my career from what seemed like a 4-hour event sitting in a Papasan chair. Back pain is the #1 reason why people lose time off from work. It's a big deal. And going through that pain, the pain was bad enough, but what it did to the rest of my life wasn't so great. And that's what I'm trying to change and hopefully can help with today. So, I know some of my patients, so I'm in Olympia, I've got the state there, they've got the Regents insurance, I don't know where you all are from, but I know that Regents has sent out emails, and I believe some of the state agencies have sent out emails saying, sitting is killing us, it's the new smoking. So, I went and did some research, and this is what's coming up with prolonged sitting. So, I did a whole bunch of research and I said, okay, what's prolonged sitting? Is it 8, 10 hours? Do I have to do 12 hours in a day? There are studies and sites that say 4 hours of sitting for prolonged periods. And I don't know what prolonged periods, each person is different. 4 hours. And I don't know how many of you are only working 4 hours a day, but there's some effects. So we've got some heart disease, and we've got an increased risk for blood pressure, increased elevated cholesterol.
Are you talking about me?
You walked in at the right time. Come on in. So I have a lot of patients that are on medication for this, and maybe some of you are, and it possibly could be from your sitting. We need to make a change. This is also a billion-dollar industry with the medications, what they're doing. So we've got decreased insulin response, otherwise known as diabetes. Increased risk of colon cancer. There's also one on the sheet that I have there. Increased risk of breast cancer. I'm not sure why. I would have maybe been just not exercising. Poor circulation, soft bones, muscle weakness. One site talked about mushy muscles. I don't know if I want mushy muscles. The older we get. Okay, disc damage or disc herniations. Inflexible spine, all of a sudden we just can't move like we used to. Neck, back pain, arm, leg pain, headaches, foggy brain, fatigue. So here's a list that they're saying sitting is doing this to us, yet our job is sitting, and what are we supposed to do? So I'm going to do a quick demonstration here. So I'm going to have you just sit up straight. Everybody just gets to sit up straight. And you're going to take a big breath in, as big as you can get, just a big breath. And let it all the way out. Do that one more time and just kind of feel how the oxygen gets into your body. And out. Okay, so now you're going to go into computer posture. Just a little bit of such. Take your breath in again. And tell me how you're doing. Yeah. Have, or there's a difference. And so we're thinking, okay, I have patients that come to me and I need to be adjusted. I got this foggy thinking. Well, sometimes we can release the top of the spine and get some blood flow going, but a lot of times it's what they're doing at their desk, that posture. And so you can see how just that little bit of a bend can create that lack of oxygen going through your body. So I have a patient who, she had neck pain, and we were doing everything, and it wasn't getting better. It's like, something's wrong. So I'm always trying to think, what else can we do? What is happening? And I said, okay, I need somebody to sneak into your cubicle and take a picture of you when you're not looking. And she looked at me like, I have good posture. I know I do. Like, my arms are here, I'm upright. And when I want somebody to do something for me, I always say, humor me. So I said, would you humor me and have somebody take a picture? And she came in on her next visit, her head was kind of down, and she had this picture. And she looked, she was like this, and she was appalled. I was appalled, she was appalled. She printed out that picture, put it on her desk. That was the end of her neck pain. And so we think that we've got this great posture, but I swear that computers suck your brain out, and you're sitting there, you're so into your work, and you forget totally that there's a body attached. Right? You're in this head and you're in your work. And I know that most of my patients work really hard, and attaching the two can be a little bit difficult. So, next thing we're going to talk about is muscle anatomy. I'm not going to go into detail. It's going to be really easy, just so that you can understand what's happening to you. So a lot of times when people understand the whys, so when I get to the exercise portion, you understand why I'm doing this for you, because it's not just because I said so and it's good for you. So, there's two different types of muscles. We got the tonic muscle and the phasic muscle. The tonic muscles are the muscles that we're born with. When we're in that fetal position, we're easy, we can bring our foot to our head, and we're in that rounded position. They tend to be our dominant muscles. We go to do something and they activate first. They're the overachievers. They always want to be turned on. They tend to be our tighter muscles, and they tend to be shortened. So examples of those are going to be our pecs. So walk around, if you're in cubicles, look around and you'll see everybody, their shoulders are like this, and then we wonder why we have pain. Our hip flexors, which are the muscles that go from the front of the hip deep into the spine, that put us in, does this look familiar? That sitting position. And then these guys here, the upper traps, they want to fire all the time. And then people come to me, my neck is killing me. I know I can understand why you have neck pain. It's not your neck. And they look at me like I have two heads. It's coming from these guys. So today I want to be able to teach you how to not use them over and over again so that your neck can feel better and your head can feel better. So then we've got our phasic muscles. Our phasic muscles, I had an instructor that told me the phasic muscles are the muscles we have to earn to be upright. So we have to use them. They don't come automatic. So when you're a baby, you learn how to crawl, you lift your head up. That's when you start to activate those. They tend to be less active. They're lazy. They're inhibited. So if anybody's going to work, these guys are going to be like, I can do it, and these guys will be like, go ahead. So we have to really pay attention to these guys, and that's what most of my exercises are going to be dealing with, those guys. So they tend to be longer, they tend to be overstretched. So if you think of like these muscles here, you're in this position, they're being stretched. We tend to have weak glutes. We're a society of flat buns. We should have buns. If you go to Brazil or if you go to Africa, they have buns. We have flat buns, and we wonder why we have back pain. Those buns need to activate to help our back. So our lower trap, which are these guys here, our rear end, and our core. And I know you all know you don't have a core. That's a big one. It's like back pain. You got to get your core activating. So our goal today, or my goal, is to get those to relax and to stop activating. And of course, this is a process. Maybe we'll perform miracles today. I don't know. And then get these guys to kick in so that you feel better. All right. So as you sit at the computer, this guy here, what's happening is you are tightening those tonic muscles and you're weakening the ones in back. So I recently saw a picture of my mom and my aunt. My mom is 72-ish. And we have kind of role reversal in our house. It's like, Mom, stand up straight, get your shoulders back, stand up straight. And so she's got really good posture. My aunt, she pretty much looks like this, standing all the time. She's probably, I would say, a year, maybe two, away from having a cane because she's so bent over that she's just going to collapse. And I know she's in pain because you can't be comfortable in that position. No way. She sat at a desk her whole life, and it was one of these gradual things that I could see through the years that she lives far away, so I don't have much influence on her like I do my mom. But that breaks my heart. Like, I don't want anybody to have to go through that, and there's nothing we can do. Once it gets to that point, that's it. So that's what I want to avoid, and that's one of the things that keeps me going every single day. And if I can help somebody to not do that, I've made it. All right. So we got the muscles. So now we're going to go on to, but when's the last time you've seen like an easel or a flip chart? Everything's PowerPoint these days. I don't do PowerPoint. All right, so we did the muscle anatomy. Now we'll go to bone anatomy. So here's a plastic model of the spine. We got the spine, we've got the pelvis, we got your tailbone, your hips. Down underneath here is called the ischium, or ischial tuberosity, also known as the sits bone. So there is a bone underneath here where we are supposed to be sitting on those bones that will keep us upright. When you sit on those bones, now you're having a hard surface, hard bone, to keep you upright where muscles to keep you upright. So what happens is that we go sit, and instead of seating those guys, and probably some of you were doing it, you kind of just sit back just a tiny bit so that you're sitting just a little tucked where you're on the meaty part of your butt versus those bones. What happens over time is just, I'll go a little more exaggerated, the little muscles and ligaments that attach in here slowly start to overstretch. It's like a micro-trauma every single day. And then all of a sudden one day, you get out of a Papasan chair and you can't move anymore. So my job as a chiropractor is like this, which is like reverse sitting, but standing up. This is a big deal. So what I want you to try to do is, if you're sitting back just a little bit, I want you to just kind of roll your pelvis forward so you're sitting more on those sits bones. And just try to see if you can maybe find that a little bit. Yeah, get back in your chair, get your buns back, and then you're going to be more solid. Look. And then you're like, this is foreign, we're all forward. But that, every so often, if you can think about, okay, I need to be sitting on my sits bones, except, not pulling back, you're going to help your low back a lot. Over time of doing that, your spine starts to wear and tear, and then the doctor's like, well, you got degeneration. There's nothing that we can do about degeneration. So from my stupid little incident and 3 years of problems, I have degeneration. Just like you were saying, your accident increased your hip degeneration. There's injuries that happen, and then next thing you know, you got degeneration. But I'm pain-free. So if you have it, and somebody says you got pain because of it, I'm hoping today we can change that. The things that I see in practice, I had a lady come in, and she barely could move. I don't know if any of you have had back spasms. When you have spasms, you're like this. And you walk really slowly, and you don't want to move because every false move, you get a jolt of pain. So she came in, kind of helped her onto the table, and I said, what happened? She said, I don't know. You have spasm that bad, you don't know what you did. She says, I was in a meeting, I was sitting there, and I got out of the chair, and I'm like, this sounds familiar, and I had pain. And I said, okay, so were you twisted? So sometimes if the speaker's off to the side, you twist a little bit, you can kind of tweak things. And she says, no, I'm straight on. And I said, well, was it a bad chair? No. All these questions, no, no, no. And I'm like, something's wrong. So I went into a chair. I don't know if you can see me. I said, were you sitting like this? She says, yeah. She said, super tired, and I sat there. Now, she was thinking it was this one event, and it wasn't the one event. It's that straw that broke the camel's back. It's the years of sitting. I find it's like year 5, my state workers start coming in with problems. Like, how long have you been at the state? Well, I've been there 5 years. It should be fine. No, it's been gradual, and you sitting, however you sit at that computer, has started to get you. So, just because you sit at a desk, when I get people come in with those emails, sitting's the new smoking, it's like, great, what are you going to do with that? It's like, I would love for y'all to retire, but, so, you're not doomed. There are little things that you can do throughout your day, and my job as a chiropractor is to help people fit it into their world so that you can do moments, and it's those moments that make a change. It's not you doing yoga or exercise for an hour every single day. It's like every couple of hours doing a little stretch or doing some of the exercises that we'll go through today. That's what's going to make a change and take that smoking, sitting thing out of you. One of my best patients, I probably have 5% that will do everything that I say, and it's always great for the ego because they do so well. But she came in with back and neck pain, and I said, okay, this is what I'm finding, this is what we need to do. And she's like, okay, I'm on it. And then she does everything I say, and I'm like, you go, girl, because most of us are like hit and miss. And she made a makeshift stand station. I don't know if you don't have stand stations, try to get stand stations so that you can have the option to sit stand. And she, 3 times a day, every single day, rain or shine, snow, anything, she's out walking around the building. Every single day. She has no pain. Like if she goes picks up a heavy rock or does something big, she's going to have something. But for the most part, we just say hi and she goes on her way. little tiny things to make changes. And I realize, like, if you're anything like my patients, you're working the job of 3 people, being paid maybe for barely time. And so time is really short, but I'm going to actually challenge you to take at least one of the things that we're going to do today and try to fit it in your day. Outlook is great. I'm not a computer person, but some people put it on Outlook so it reminds them to come up, or program your phone, something that says, okay, it's time to do something. I was going to say something. Let's go back to this one. Okay, so here's my to-dos. First one is water. Water's great for bringing nutrients into your cells. It brings waste out of your cells. It's needed for every enzymatic reaction in the body. But the number one reason I say water is it makes you have to go to the bathroom. And you get up and get out of your desk, right? So my goal is half your body weight in ounces. Half your body weight in ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, 50 ounces. Most people are really dehydrated. So when they start drinking water,
What was that ratio again?
half your body weight in ounces. So when you're dehydrated, and you drink a lot of coffee, which is coffee's great, you're going to drink your water, and you're going to be going to the bathroom a lot. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, for patients, I can't go to the bathroom that much. Well, you're like a dry plant. You put the water in, right, in the dry plant, it goes right through. So keep drinking. I drink a lot of water, and I'm not going to the bathroom all day long. I can't say, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom when I'm seeing a patient. So your body will hydrate. So just maybe start on the weekends when you're close to the bathroom. That's my number one. Number 2, had a couple people do that this week, made me very proud. Stand when you're on the phone, right? You're talking to somebody, if you're one of those on the phone, just stand up. Stand, wiggle. That's what I love about those stand stations is that you can move. Our bodies are designed to move. We are not designed to sit. And I don't know in your world if you have something to read, if you can print it off the computer, or you have to read on the computer. If it can be printed out, if there's a document, stand while you're reading it. Another thing is that if you find like there's a hallway where you're not going to run into people and you don't have bumps to go over, do a slow walk. We'll see if it happens, but the treadmill, they're talking about treadmill workstations, which is kind of like a nightmare in my mind, because I'm going to drink coffee and walk and type. But anyway, so you can take a document and just go for a little stroll. It's not how far you go, it's just getting up and moving. So, about 7, 8 years ago, I started seeing a change in people, and I was like, hey, what's happening here? People stopped going to their coworkers. And I don't mean go to your coworker and like chat their ear off, but if you have something to talk to them, sometimes get up and go to them instead of doing an email. Maybe once a day. Get up and do that. But we're so used to just instant messaging or whatever you do to go. But just maybe once, just once. If it's somebody that's fairly close to get up, you're going to get your buns out, you're going to get your buns working, and that'll help. All right. Just like my patient did, walk the building, get up. People are so, what I see is that they're afraid to get out of their desk if they have to work. But do you know that getting up and moving around, you're going to get more circulation to your brain, you're going to be more productive, you're going to be a better employee, and you might not be so drained and foggy-brained at the end of the day. So walk the building, do up and down stairs, do something to move every so often. In my perfect world, it would be on your 2 breaks. You get 2 breaks, right, and a lunch. And that will get you moving, even if it's like a minute. I don't care. I'm not looking for big time, 10 minutes. I'm looking for minutes. So get it out of your brain that I have to do a whole bunch of stuff. 30-second increments, 1 minute, that's all you need. And people can do that. Take the stairs versus the elevator. Walking meetings. There's a couple of people I know that will do standing meetings, like you do not need to sit down, or they'll take, if it's like 3, 4 people, maybe they'll do walking meetings. And that's a great way. When it's sunny, you get outside and you get productive. These are great. The pedometer, the old school pedometer still works. The Fitbit, the Nike Wheel, the Jawbone Up. I have more people in that are like, oh, I got 10,000 steps. How many did you get? Oh, you only got 9. It's amazing how you got yours. Awesome. A Jawbone. Yeah. It's amazing what it does to get people moving. And then they want to I have a friend of mine, I just want to please that number. And so I had one guy, 13,000 steps? Like he was going to town. Like anytime he could walk, he was out there. And he lost a lot of weight, which, you know, is a guy, but anyway. Okay, so then my exercises and stretches that we're gonna go over. That's what I tell everybody to do. So what I don't like in practice, so I've got the one patient that does everything that I said, and she does fabulous. So I'm working on a lady, she's got low back pain, and I can help her, and she'll go on her merry way, and then she'll come back, and she's got her back pain. It's like back hip stuff. And as I always do with every patient is, I see what I need to do, and I see what they need to do. And if a patient reciprocates and they start doing what they need to, I'll keep going. This patient did nothing, absolutely nothing. So here we are now, 3 months after a hip replacement. She tells me, Dr. Wendy, if I would have listened to you 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have had this hip replacement. Minus traumas, right? A lot of times our degeneration happens because of our lifestyles. And that broke my heart, and there's nothing and she hasn't changed her ways, but she's a fabulous lady. But I want to be able to help people because we want to get out of pain. Pain is a big $86 billion industry. So I tell my patients just try 1 or 2 little things during the day. All right? So now we're going to start. There's the history of the muscles. We got the tonic, we got the phasic. First thing we're going to do is breathing. People don't understand how important breathing is. You need to get oxygen into your brain, you need to get oxygen into your bodies, but most of us do not know how to breathe. Most of us are chest breathers. We don't breathe from our bellies. I think that's probably like the last, yeah. So, belly, when you breathe in, so I'm just going to have you take a breath again. And then breathe out. So kind of feel where you're breathing. So sometimes if I don't pay attention, I'll kind of lift my shoulders. But if you're feeling like your shoulders are coming up, you're breathing from your chest. So think about breathing all day long. Don't you think you're going to get a little sore up here? Had a lady coming in for headaches. I'm like, you got to breathe right. As soon as she starts breathing right, no more headaches. That's a success. I don't want people, I want to retire. I want to have people feel good. So, what I'm going to have you do is, for a breathing experiment, I usually have people do this at home in their bed so they can relax. In my book, I talk about somebody putting a shoe on their belly, or a book, or something. So then you've got some feedback. As you take that breath in, your shoe's going to go up, and as you breathe out, the shoe goes down. Now, some of us have reverse breathing. If you're one of those, I'm not like, you breathe in and out. So you can do this in the privacy of your own home. But if you're finding that you're doing it backwards, you have what they call a motor control problem. It's not a strength problem. Strengths are easy. You just go to the gym or use a band or whatever. Motor control means your brain does not know how to use your muscles correctly. And I can tell you, motor control makes women cry, it makes men scream. It's frustrating because you think, I should be able to do this. So some of the things that we do today, you may not be able to do. And don't think you're stupid, because you're not stupid. Your brain and that muscle have just shut off. That's it. All day long, we're dealing with muscles that have shut off. So, exercise number 1, you're going to put a shoe or something on your belly. You're going to be at home, or just as you sit, put your hand on your belly. You breathe in, belly goes out. You breathe in, out, belly goes in. And you're going to do that several times a day. That one, when you start breathing correctly, it activates your core. How simple is that? You start breathing and then you breathe out, the core has to contract to get air out. So maybe if you do like an exercise where you breathe in, breathe out, and then follow your breath and tighten your belly. And then hold it for a moment. Your core's working. You don't have to be on the floor doing tons of crunches. It's little things. Just little. So breathing is my first one. All right, so pages are stretches.
Do you have any more handouts?
I think I'm gonna have to email them to you, or, give everybody else, the lone one, no extras. I'll see if I can give one today before we leave. I'll write that down. Yeah. So, as we talked about, our hip flexors tend to be super tight because we're stuck in this position all day long. So this is going to be, I don't know if you knew, but we're going to be interactive today. So the first stretch that I'm going to show you on how to loosen up your hip flexors is in your desk, on your desk. First line, so it's the page that has 7, 8 pictures. Oh, did I all have 7, 8? This one. It should be your first one unless you flip through. Yeah, there's a bed. So you can do it on the bed. It's awesome. Okay. So let me move this. So hopefully you have it. I'll just stay away. This one is the easiest for people because even if you have, I don't know, whatever you have, you can still do this stretch to some degree. Some of the other ones are pretty advanced on that sheet because I deal with a whole bunch of different fitness levels. But this one, when you're at your computer, all you're going to do, so even if people have they would be called arms on their chairs, you can angle just a little bit and you're going to bring your leg back. So what you're thinking of is that you're stuck in this position. What do I want to do? I want to bring it back. That's all she wrote. So you just bring your leg back until you feel a little bit of a stretch. And even if you don't feel tons, just bringing your leg back is taking you out of that posture. And some people will just sit and tighten.
Aren't you doing this? You walk in my office.
We want happy hits. And I tell people 20 to 30 seconds, so you can still type.
You sure you can feel it?
Pardon?
It feels good.
Yeah. Takes you right out of that tension. Heck yeah. When these are too tight, they turn off your buns. There's a connection there. And there's a word called glute amnesia, which means your buns literally forget how to fire. And then we have flat buns, and we have back pain. All right, so now we're going to stand up. We'll do the other side standing. So now I want you by your chair so you can hold on to something. So you're in your office or your cubicle, you're just holding on to it, and then all you're going to do is bring your leg back. Now, just bringing I can feel it. If you can't feel it, what you're going to try to do then is tighten your bun on that side and see if maybe you feel it then. There's a bingo up there. Yes, the back leg. Now, if you still don't feel it, you can bring it back farther or bend the knee just a tiny bit. And all I'm looking for is just a little bit of opening there. That's all she wrote. But then if you tighten the buns, you get a bun tightening and a loosening up all in one. It's fabulous. I want to go around to my state offices and I'm like, I want to see you guys. All right. So those would be the two that you can do. Now, and I do not know the health of your body, so if I show you something and you do it and you hurt yourself, it's not my fault. Okay? That's your disclaimer. That was my disclaimer. So now, if you have good hips and you have good knees and you have good flexibility, okay, you can do the whatever this is called. And then what you try to do is you bring your leg, don't even. Sorry. You'll do the other ones and you'll work into it. The goal is to bring your knee back farther so that you feel it up in here. I do this in line at the grocery store. I don't care who sees me because I had pain. I don't want to have it again. But this is a big deal stretch because our world is very forward. I had tons of people coming into me after the summer with them doing gardening because they're like this. They're like, oh, my back is killing me. It's like your back. It's your hip flexors. Loosen up your hip flexors. You'll be good to go. So those would be the three that you can do at at work. And then the other ones, I can't even do it because I haven't stretched, but there's one against the wall where I'm kind of in this position. That's neutral. That's how loose we should be in our perfect world. And people, I had a guy try it, he went into spasm for 4 minutes. And he's that kind of patient, so we're good. So the one that is at the bottom, you kind of see my roll of kettlebells there. This one, when I'm super lazy at home, I'll just stick my, I'm on the couch laying down, I'll bring my leg back and the couch holds, and then I just hang out. But the top, that one, yes. So those 3 that we just showed would be the easiest for you to do at work. And you do not force it, you only take it. So if I say your knee needs to come back, but you're like this because you're so tight, and you do this, don't do that. Honor where your body is. Respect that it's worked hard, right? And work into it. Don't overdo.
How long do you usually hold this for?
I do 20, 30 seconds. Really, if I can get people to even get into that position, a change happens. I tell people I'll circle on there, and if you maybe put on there, hold it 30 seconds, and I do 3 to 4 times a day. And literally, if they do maybe once, maybe twice, they come in and there's a change. It's just taking your brain out of your norm. That's all it is. Yes?
Mind if we copy these and distribute them to coworkers?
Go for it. Go for it. The more that you send, you bet. Okay, so that's getting the hip flexors, the ones in front. So now, we're going to sit back. Who has knee issues? Okay, where crossing your knees, or knees, hips, are like not going to be a good idea. I don't have this as a picture, and if somebody can draw maybe this one, so we'll do it standing. There's a muscle in the back that's underneath our butt. So we got our glute on top that tends to be like flat and atrophied and not working. Then there's a guy underneath who's an overachiever, who they call it piriformis syndrome. Sometimes we'll give you sciatica. It'll be painful in your bun.
I got this right here, a Baker's cyst.
Oh.
I'm going to see the orthopedic on Thursday.
And they suck it right out of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Baker's cyst.
See it sitting, dang it. So the picture, I usually, but I know who my patients are. We will do it sitting, but there's an option. And like I said, I don't have a picture of this. And you probably want to make sure that like nobody's watching. You stand, and what you do is you jut your hip out. And you're going to feel a stretch in your bun. So I'll do this sometimes as I'm writing chart notes, or if I'm brushing my teeth. I don't, wherever. See, there, yeah, you go, yeah, perfect. And if you don't feel it, kind of jut it out to the side a little bit more. Right in the book. Yeah, you might be flexible. We'll see when you sit, if you feel it. And when you're kind of like having to go way far, you may not, because right, you feel it when it's tight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so let's, okay, so that's the standing way. Of course, I don't have a picture of that one, sorry. But that's your option for people who have bodies that are a little framer. You can, I would just go barely. Yeah, like barely, if that. That's right. And you probably still won't want to do it for a while. You're still healing. Give yourself a year. Okay, so let's sit and let's do it sitting. So for those who can, you're going to cross one leg over the other. Sure. Oh, I'm tight today.
We'll do this.
So this is great in a meeting. You throw your leg up there, you put your arms on the desk, and they think that you're paying attention. You're like, I'm stretching. So some of you maybe only just have to put your leg up and you'll feel a stretch. If it's too much, you go to the other one. Do not overstretch. I had a patient. She was having problems down here. I showed her this, and then she came in with a lot of sciatica, and she wasn't happy. I'm like, show me how you're doing this. She's cranking on it. Do not crank on it. It will give you sciatica, and I warned you. More is not better. All right? So that's the first way. Second way, if that one's too much, or the next one is going to bring your knee towards your opposite shoulder. Just lift up again. So you can do these at your desk, right? You're reading something. When you're reading something, that's the perfect time to be doing something. Just don't like hang out. Do something.
And I do that. I just hang out and sometimes.
Right, right. flexible?
Totally
Are you a yoga, like yoga? If you're hyper flexible, you have to watch out with your stretches. Most of us are hyper flexible. So if you but you can, if you, can you do this? Can you bring your thumb to your, okay. So you're, okay. If you're here and you bend forward a little bit, and then if you just stay there, bring your knee out just a little bit. You may get a little bit of a stretch doing that. Write down which ones you don't like. I don't like them. Like if you may get a stretch and everybody else is like, oh, I feel this. Then I'll see if you can find it. Okay. Well, maybe hamstrings are a little tight. So if you keep working at it, yeah, so maybe if you have a muscle that's over your so maybe if you can't quite get to it, you may have a muscle that's too tight. And as you work, you may notice that it starts to get like, oh, now it's to the butt because my hamstring's loosened up or whatever. So just do little bits. What we're trying to do is get mobility into your body. All right. And then there's an option laying on the floor, but I don't think any of my people want to get on the floor or. There's another option on the bottom of this page where we're doing the bun stretch, where you can do more of like the runner's lunge type of thing to open it up. You know, if you really want to get a better stretch, but then you have to have good knees to be able to get on the floor. But the other ones seem to do fine. All right, so now we got the pecs. So we got the hip flexors taken care of. 30 seconds. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what I say. My overachievers will do once an hour, and they make huge changes, but I'm not going to do that much. All right, so now we got our pecs. We all walk around like this, right? Yeah. So, as females, our shoulders and our chest should not touch, right? And our boobs and our belly shouldn't touch. These are separate entities. But what happens over time is like we do this, and it's like, Lee, get back up. Gravity does enough. So, what kills me is when I see somebody and their shoulders are forward and they don't change it, I guarantee you the ortho is going to be at your door at some point. Guaranteed, because when your shoulders are forward, you are out of alignment and you wear and tear, you get all those itises and then something tears. So, I'm going to show you the first stretch. Some of you may not be able to do this, and we'll go into another option. So I do this one a lot just because it's easy. My hands are here. So if you can't get to your hands, please don't do this because your shoulders are going to get cranky. So if you can do it, you want to just bring your shoulders back, hang out. Should feel good, right? It does. All right. So if the shoulders are crankier, so if you have your desk, anything to grab onto, not a cubicle wall, but grab on and then just move away. You're going to get a stretch. Really, anything that brings your shoulders back. Some people have to start just like this, even low down, because they're so tight. So just start bringing your arms back. You can also on there, you got to find a corner, but you kind of do a corner, or you can go through a doorway.
Now, I work on the 7th floor, and I sit in the elevator like that. From
Perfect.
the 1st to the 7th floor.
Oh, music to my ears. That's awesome. That'll save you.
Nobody gets on, right?
Even they do. I just say, I'm stretching, you know, and then they
And you say, so word of caution on this one. So the sitting stretch can give you sciatica if you push too hard, right? This one here, and I've had 2 people in almost 25 years because they didn't listen to me, where if you overstretch this, the muscle will tighten and you will feel like you're having a heart attack and you will go to the emergency room. 2. I've had 2. So if you listen to me, you won't happen, but you don't want to overstretch it. And it typically will happen through a doorway stretch because they can go really far, right? And the muscle freaks out going, I can't go that far, and it slams down and it spasms. And you think you're having a heart attack. Fabulous. And then, yeah, but if you can't get straight, then you got it. That's coming up. So if you got shoulder issues, be really, really
I
careful.
fell, and I screwed up this knee, my good knee, and that's when I healed, I don't know.
Yeah, do little stretches, little nice.
Yeah.
Nice is always a sign on those. Okay, so there's 3 ways of doing that. Some people make up their own. I don't care how you do it. Sometimes if I'm anywhere, I'll just go up against a wall and I'll just stretch it out. It's just taking it out of this posture, back. All right, so did we get all of the stretches? Next we're gonna go into, so there's not many, right? If you pick like 1 stretch an hour for 30 seconds, y'all can do that. It's not a big deal. So now we're gonna activate. Activating is super duper easy in a sense, unless your brain does not know that there is a muscle there. So, how many do we have in the 1, 2, 3, 4? 2, 4. Oh, yeah, harder. So if you can like pair up, because we need to have some feedback on this one. Actually, hang on, maybe not. These are pretty chairs. Okay, so I'm probably going to come around the room and I'm going to touch so that you can know where we're going with this. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to roll your shoulders back just a little bit, and you're going to kind of throw your chest forward, throw out the girls, and you're going to try to squeeze between your lower shoulder blades. So if you're starting to do this, bring your shoulders down, like pull your armpits down. Armpits go down. Okay, relax.
Should you be standing or sitting?
Sitting's fine. We're going to sit in just a second. So roll them back, throw out the girls, squeeze the shoulder blades. Okay, so now what we're going to do several of these, and hopefully tomorrow you'll be sore. Now you're going to sit. You're going to have to get back on your sits bones, so you're sitting upright, and like you're going to have to wiggle down just a little bit, so that the chair is firmly by your bra line. So you're feeling some good support there. So the shoulders go back just a little bit, and then you're going to squeeze your lower shoulder blades. And I'm going to come around and point to this so you can all feel it. And then you're just going to hold it for a moment, and you're going to relax. So I'm going to have you keep doing that, and I'm going to come around so you can feel it. Okay, so relax for me. You're going to try to squeeze from here. Perfect. So keep doing that. For a long time. And squeeze from here. Relax. Look at you all are good. Say that in person. Remember to breathe. Yeah, breathe. You can feel it. So you're just going to keep having something on you, which is going to give you feedback. So then the more your brain is something that you can do, and you just keep it going. Yeah. You can slide off the work. Up and you always there you go. Now, if you keep the chair on there, you'll have that feedback. Ready? Now, relax these buggers from here. There you go. So keep, just think bra line, and then just try to squeeze those little buggers together. But if your shoulders come up, so keep your armpits down. You don't just go right away. There you go. We appreciate it. Okay. There you go. Right? We don't use those guys. We don't use them at all. They flop in the wind.
It's hard work.
Good. It is. I didn't say it was going to be easy. Yeah, these guys do not work all day long. I deal with it. Ready? All right. Yep, we got it. You all actually do a good job not lifting up. Last one. Big one. Okay. So these exercises pretty much need to be done until you retire, or maybe until you expire. As that. So if you're retired, doesn't mean you should. I know. Then I'm thinking, okay, you're in the garden, you're probably still on the computer, but we always want to fight gravity. And this guy, you can feel it when you start to squeeze them, you come upright, right? So we need to keep doing that. And I say many when I give my prescription, many times a day, many.
I have a coworker, I mean, she's quite a bit younger, but she has a natural arch, and I don't know if it's a hereditary thing or not, but I know she tries to keep her shoulders back, but it's obvious osteoporosis. Is there
Maybe not, though.
Actually, because I had quite a big bone.
Uh-huh.
When I started swimming,
Uh-huh.
because I did a breaststroke,
Uh-huh.
it went away.
Because you worked it. You worked it.
I mean, if she stands, it's up.
Yeah, sometimes, just like my aunt, she's not osteoporotic, she just didn't fight gravity. That's all it is. And some, I have osteoporotic women that are straight up and down, so it could be, it may not, without me knowing. But even if it is, she's got to work hard to get that strong. So many times a day.
No, I have arthritis, degenerative arthritis, and also some ankylosing spondylitis.
Yes,
But if I do something,
you will fight it. You have to keep, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so we got the uppers going. Now we're going to go to the buns. Some people can only do it sitting, some people can only do it standing. So what you're going to do is while you're sitting, you're going to tighten your buns. You should feel yourself come off your chair a little bit as they engage, right? These poor little guys, I have a big butt. And my buns work all the time. Like they don't shut down. They do, probably because I just talk about this all day long. So what you're going to do is you're just going to tighten your buns. Just like the upper back, you'll just squeeze there, you tighten your buns. So you can do it standing and do it in the elevator while you're stretching and tighten your buns. We have to do that a lot. And some people, if you can't feel it, like most of you, I can see you coming off the chair, so you're doing right. I had a person in just the other day. She's been through so much. And she has some buns, and she exercises all the time, but what happens is they shut off. And when things shut off, we have to constantly put new input in. And that's what, during your day, if you do nothing during the day, you're not going to win, period. So, it's little bits throughout the day. Tighten your buns, tighten your buns, tighten your buns. Squeeze back here. All right, core. So we talked about taking a breath in, letting it out. Follow your breath and tighten your belly. Now you activated your core. And then just hold it. I do that probably 40 times a day. My tummy's always tightening and then relaxing, tightening, relaxing. So another way of doing it is pulling your belly button to your spine.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, if you feel like it still can't engage, sometimes saying belly button to your chin, but usually sitting, people can engage. Everybody feel like there's a little bit of contraction happening in there? We need to have tone to these muscles. Tone. Those three need to be activated every single day of your life. All right. Those are the activations. So now, so we've got, your butt, your core, and your bra line. Bra line. Activate your bra line all the time. And it's going to make you mad because you're going to do it and you're going to feel like, oh, I'm all upright. And then like an hour later, you're going to have to do it again. So we're going to go to the band. The band now is the next step after activation. And this... You didn't get a band. You can have a band. And I don't know if you heard this field, but you can't take them home. You gotta buy them because they charge me. Okay, so we need this and this. You got two, and you need two. They're 10 each, but I've got a special going on. So I also have my book, which has got all this information in there, all the stuff that I talked to about my patients, or talked to them. Okay, so you're going to take the small one. This one you're probably going to have to spread out for, and maybe we'll do it standing, because I don't want you to bulk your neighbor. So now there's a band exercise, excuse me, where it shows me just pulling. So when I'm at my computer and I'm reading something, I just did a report to a doc or something, I get my band out because it's always on my desk. I have patients that come in, where's your band? It's in a drawer. Get it out of the drawer, out of sight, out of mind. This thing will change your posture like nothing else. So what you're going to do is it's going to be like chest height. You're going to squeeze those newfound shoulder blade muscles, squeeze them a little bit, hold them tight, and you're going to pull just a little bit. And then go back. Is that a good ooh or a bad ooh? Squeeze them again, you're going to pre-activate them, and then pull. Now, if you've got shoulder blade problems, or it's hard to do, lighten up. I don't care that, don't pull like this. You want to have, get some slack. So then, like you're being, you've done this for a while, you're like, oh, this is too easy. You can double it up. But for now, you just start. So squeeze them back, pull that band back down. And I tell people do 3. That's it. So you're reading something, you do 3. All right? You all can feel that?
Yeah.
Feel okay? Yeah, you're going to feel it. It's not evil, it's so evil, but darn it.
So you're gonna do your tomorrow?
Right. But, all day long, people come to me and they pay their good money for stuff that they can be fixing themselves. And there's times when I really need it, and I guide people, but let's fix it on your own. Don't pay out that money, go do something else. All right, now another one. If your shoulders are okay to come up and you don't have any shoulder issues, where no impingements, no nothing, you're going to pull the band apart a little bit. You're going to bring it back around. Yeah, no shoulder. Now, come back up. So that one will give you a little bit of stretch. The goal is to be able to pull it all the way down. Your shoulder kind of scares me, so don't go too far. It's a process. Like I said, honor where your body is. Just because my picture shows you doing this, don't do it if you can't do it. It's okay. I didn't get here overnight, so. And then you really want to squeeze those shoulder blades, pull it down, squeeze, 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 squeeze. If you do 3 of these and really squeeze, well, even these, you'll feel a burning between your shoulder blades. That means blood's getting through there, it's activating, and yahoo. And then you'll get sore, which is great. You do? Oh, you do? Well, do the time. All right, those 2 are the 2 two that I do at my desk regularly. Some days I'm a pull-aparter, and some days I'm a pull-downer. And I don't know why. There's no formula. You just do something. But if you feel it in your shoulders, please, please, please back off. I already warned you. All right. Now let's go to the other band. This one I wouldn't do because of your hip. Okay? This one might be a little bit awkward. So, you're going to take your band, you're going to be sitting, you're going to bring the band up to your thighs. And it's probably going to roll up because I haven't figured out how to make these not roll up. So they're just annoying. And you're sitting on your sits bones, right? You're sitting upright. All right, so now your feet are going to go close together. They don't have to be touching, they're just close. You're going to push out with your knees, all right? And you're going to tighten your buns.
That's at the same time.
And you're at the same time. And then relax it, knees go in. You're going to push out with your knees and tighten your buns. Do this. The hardest part is getting the stupid hand on. And then you're pushing out. Now, if you're feeling it from the inside of your leg, anybody feel it on the inside? Oh, that's good. You'd be amazed at how many women use the inside of the leg to push out, and it's not even a way the muscle activates. That blows my mind. So we want to feel it pushing out, and you should feel it on these guys, and you feel it in your buttons. And you just do like 3 to 5 of those. So like I'm starting to feel it. All right. So those of you who are going to be the overachievers and want to go on to the next step, we are going to do squats. So I'm going to have you stand up. And I hear many times, I can't do squats. No, you can't do American squats. So I want everybody to be able to see. I don't dare do it on that chair. I fall over. Okay, so when people say they can't do squats, I say, show me your squat, and they do this. How many of you squat like this, like knees forward? That's a horrible squat. It's going to screw up your knees. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. So what you do, my favorite, you're going to go to the bathroom on a dirty outhouse. Oh. You've all been there, right? What are you going to do? Your butt's going to go back. Squeeze your legs out just a little bit and come back up. Get those buns back, back, back. So you can hold on to a chair to give you a little bit of support. Butt goes back, come back up. Squats are extremely important. Don't go so far down. So you can wherever you want to have them. Yeah. So perfect. So if you are having trouble getting up and down, you're going to do a little squat where you're going to come here and you're going to come back up. They call it greasing the groove. You go with where you're at. So get your butt back. You're not on a dirty outhouse. Get that butt way in. There you go. And stop. And then come back up. Just baby this. Right? If you go too far, you'll tweak your knee. All right. They'll change your rear end. Okay. In a good way. It'll lift that booty right up. That's a little farther back. Bring that butt farther back. There you go. And then come back up. And it feels awkward when people haven't done squats right. They think they're going so far back, and they're not. Yep. And then bring your knees out a little farther. There you go. That's beautiful. Yeah. It gives you an extra dynamic. So when you go out, either sitting or standing, it activates a muscle out here as well as the bigger. There's like 3 glutes that are in there, so it just gives you a better booty, stronger.
That is all.
Yeah. So you can just, without the band, just do straight squats. I have people do it on this. So then you've got some support. So if you, can you hold the door for me? So that if every door, every house door that I know of has doorknobs. So if you grab the doorknobs, and you can do a little bit of a squat and come back up. So now you've got balance, and you're able to go back a little bit farther, but don't go too far. Make it easy, little. Yes, you bet.
At least for now.
The people want to get so low, don't go low. If you're starting out, go little. Little is okay. We are just a world of overachievers, and some is good, more is better. Don't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself. And that's not my intent today. My intent is to get you moving and do little bits. So start with the ones, like with the low back, even, they call it tushy touches. There's a picture there where you just go up to, in the elevator, go up to the wall, and then you just touch and come back up. All right? And then you're safe. You're not going to fall over. I don't.
Hopefully they don't have cameras looking at you.
I remember that last, will remind each other.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Okay, so where are we? All right. Yeah, so that's a basic way to get people to squat so that they don't hurt their knees, because when you go over your knee, you hurt them. And so just doing little bits, and you really don't have to go far away or a little far from the wall. If you just do little where you just kind of touch and then come back up, you're making a brain connection to those muscles that have given up. And you just start little by little by little, and then it changes. But it's, you know, we want to be from here to here overnight, and we can't. We start little. There's lots of stuff that I can't do.
Baby steps.
Yeah, totally baby steps. Okay, so we're almost there. We're going to do a plank. All right? So, we're going to do a plank on the wall. I just, every time I say this to people in that cubicle hell, that somebody does a plank on the cubicle and then they all topple over. Stuff in my brain. Okay, stand up and find a wall, please. All right, so if everybody can see me, we're going to have our arms here and our legs back. Depends on where you feel comfortable, you can get closer. So this is the baby beginnings of a plank. So what you're going to do is assume that position. You are going to tighten your newfound core. Bring your belly button to your spine. Tighten it, tighten it, tighten it. So I'm going to pull that belly button in that way. Tighten your newfound muscle here, and tighten your buns. So bring your core in, and then after I come around, you can stop. You might want to relax for a second. Tighten here, tighten here. Pull that belly, bring that belly button to that spine. Bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it. There you go. Tighten your buns, get those buns up firing. Tighten the belly, and pull here. See, planks, people think, oh, planks are easy. No, they're not. Belly button goes in. There you go. Tighten here a little bit. Perfect. Tighten your buns. There you go. Perfect. And then you hold it for a little bit. See how long you guys have been holding. Pull that in. Tighten your buns. Tighten here. Okay, relax on the rest of the side of the room. You guys are not going to like fall over. Pull in. Tighten your buns. Tighten here. There you go. Yeah, and relax. How long are you guys? Okay, good. Okay, belly button goes in. Tighten those buns. Tighten here. See, it's a whole body exercise. People are like, people will do planks. So this is like the beginning. So if people are more advanced, you can go on the floor. But getting your core tight, your bun tight, your back tight, all at the same time. I have grown men that shake because they're using every single muscle in their body to work. But now you can start on the wall. These are like bonuses. All right, pull that belly button in. Tighten them buns. Yeah. Tighten here. And tighten the buns. Okay. Yeah, and breathe. Perfect. That planking, whoever's done planking, the planking for like a minute, 2 minutes, baloney. If you're tightening everything, you can't do it. Okay. Belly in, tighten here. There you go. Yep. And tighten.
I know it.
Hold this back in.
I know it.
Okay.
I know.
Put that belly in. Tighten that booty. Tighten here. So right now, just pull that belly in. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Go tight. Yeah, you're tight. Tight belly. Yoga.
I know.
You can tell. She's gonna go, oh dear, you need to start doing something. That's what she told me. Yeah, alrighty then.
She needs help there. And if you
Yeah, I
just
need
keep
help.
pulling here, still her chills, her brain will get it, and then you'll start, if you just do it up right now, and then bring your head up, and then just keep working. If you do that, her brain now is going through, I can go somewhere. And then just have her back. Okay, so where am I? Okay, pull belly button in, tighten your buns. Good one. And tighten here. Pull your belly button in. There you go. That's a plank. Okay. Pull in. Get those buns fired. There you go. Tighten here. Keep those bellies. There you go. Yep. Thanks for humoring me with this. Okay, so go on the elbows if you can. Yeah. And then pull the belly in, tighten, and then tighten the buns. There you go, perfect. Again. Yeah. And then everything. Yep. Ready? And breathe.
I'm not breathing right.
Can't breathe and do it. Can't breathe and do it.
That you. Fire. Tighten here. Where are you guys? Get those fired. Okay. Lay back down. That's a plank. So most people will plank on their knees and their hands, and the rest of them also are just like hanging out. But you guys actively fire. I go through, so, no. They're not fired. They're not fired. Isn't it? It's amazing. Yeah. So, that's a bonus. So you can do wall. So you don't have to do that one, but if you work your way into it. All right. So the last one I used. I probably couldn't have anybody do the side plank because you have to be super strong. Super duper strong. Maybe you can do a side plank, but. All right. So the one page that's got the core where I'm on my back. This is kind of a bonus for people who can really get their core activated. So if you're like feeling your tummy tighten a lot, you can do these. But this is like extra bonus material. But what I'm going to have you do is you're going to sit. You're sitting on your sits bones. You're tightening your belly. So now you've got your chair with some hands, arms on there. So if you tighten your tummy and relax it, tighten your belly, relax it, tighten your belly. So now hold that tight. And then what you can do, once you got this going on, you can sit there and do marching steps. But your belly cannot let go in a meeting, I dare you. Okay, so that's like the next step after you've learned how to do the contraction. And then when you're feeling really good, I usually, not usually, 100% of the time when I give core exercises to people, my hands, 10 minutes? All right. When I have my hand on their back and their belly to make sure that they're activating, so I really can't tell if you would do those correctly, but I just gave them to you just because. So, all right. So you're going to do some stretching of the front. You're going to stretch your pecs, and you're going to do some type of a butt stretch. So there's 3 of that. You're going to activate your buttons. You're going to tighten those buggers a lot. You're going to squeeze between the shoulder blades, and you're going to tighten your belly. My posture is so much better. All right? Then, even if you don't do the band, like if the band is too advanced, you don't have to have the band. I just brought it for like a demonstration. You can do a pull-apart without a band. Isometrics. Who's the old guy that died? Jack LaLanne. Didn't he do a lot of like squeezing body weight exercises? Just squeeze, pretend there's a band.
Oh, I see.
You can get it going. Yep. So you're going to squeeze that. You're going to squeeze your buttons. I didn't have the picture of the band around here, so you might have to draw that tighten. But if you just start tightening your buttons, you'll be good to go.
You know those stretchy rope kind of leaves that in place of everything?
Yeah, tubing. Anything that's stretchy. Yeah, as long as it's not too tight. If you have one at home and you go to do a pull apart and it's too hard, I guarantee you're going to do this, right? That's not the muscle we want. We want to keep it down and squeeze the correct muscles. Okay, I think I made it through all that. Any questions? Yeah. Get those buns going.
Yeah. Does this help like your back?
Yes. Yes.
You don't have to do the neck.
No. So what I find, so the question was, does this help your neck? So these are geared towards helping neck pain, helping headaches, helping back pain. Because when you have that imbalance between those tonic muscles and the phasic muscles, that's where your pain comes in. So if you get strong between those shoulder blades and getting your posture upright, getting your breathing correct, your neck pain can go away. Now, if you've got something funky in there where you have to maybe have a little bit of intervention, there's my disclaimer again, you may have to have something, but I'll adjust somebody and I'm giving them these things because they are so imbalanced that we have to get them strong, otherwise they keep coming back. I hate it. I hate it. So, yes, and then the butt squeezes in the belly will help with posture also, and it'll help with your low back. So it's geared towards getting you out of pain. Because you all like that at some point. I challenge you, because only a couple people have done that picture. Have somebody come in, when you're in the heat of your work, have them take a picture. Most people have a cell phone these days. They can snap it without even you knowing it, because your brain is sucked out working. And just see what your posture looks like. And if it's bad, print it out on your computer, and then that is a reminder of keeping yourself upright. And the picture's worth 1,000 words. That could change everything right there. Yep.
Do you have any tips for somebody who drives a lot?
Don't.
Yeah. What if that's not enough?
I know. So when I tell my patients who drive a lot, when they get out of the car, do a stretch really fast, all you have to do, you don't even have to hold it for 30 seconds. Just take yourself out of that posture. Typically, we're so busy that we want to get to where we're going. Take literally a couple seconds and take yourself out of that posture. And then if you're going into the elevator, do an elevator stretch. But you're going to have to make a bigger effort to do some of that stuff. And so you can squeeze your buns a lot on a drive. You can squeeze your shoulder blades. So you'll get some of that. You just won't get the upright until you get out of it. But I tell people, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze when they're in their car. You can only do one arm though, but like that pec stretch by bringing your arm on the other side. But anything that just gets that movement going instead of like, right? It's really important.
Put your arm behind your past.
Yeah, and stretch. And if you can't, so you're good on one. But if your chair or your car seat kind of puts you, some seats put you in a slump, I have either like a rolled towel or and that'll bring you more upright, and then you're not gonna be straining your back. Yeah, but that's a tough one, but you have to make a little more effort than somebody, I guess. So,
What about exercise balls, sitting, you know, they have those exercise balls.
I have one when I do an exam. Yep.
In
The holder,
yeah, in the holder.
you can still slouch. You have to make sure you're on your sits bones. I have horrendous posture when I sit on my ball.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I'm lazy, I guess. Like prop up against a wall. It's great. So if you sit on your sits bones, they'll be good, because then what you can do is you're sitting, you can do pelvic twists, you can do core, you know, all this movement. Movement's the key. You got to take yourself out of this sitting posture and get your buns moving somehow. Yeah, so as long as you don't slouch, and you can balance on them, then yeah. Yeah.
I have a stand-up desk too.
Perfect, because
I
then
can do both.
you can wiggle, and I don't recommend standing all day long, and I don't recommend sitting all day long. Very. Yeah, right. Any other questions? You guys did really good. I have times where people come in and they cannot find those shoulder blade muscles at all. Zero. And it'll take a couple of visits before they can even activate. So I'm pleased that you guys at least are past that, and you can act. You just can't do it in a plank. That's hard. It's really good sitting. Keep working at it.
I work for a sergeant, and we have the green bands.
Uh-huh.
We call it a green band search, but they've all broken except this one. So we have the resistance bands. Every day at 2:30, my wrist goes off, my phone goes off, and I call everybody out of cubicles and offices. And we
You do it.
actually have to share because we don't have enough stretch resistance band. We stretch from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long
Uh-huh.
the conversation goes.
Uh-huh.
We have a meeting right there at my desk, but they don't do it when I'm not there.
Right. You always have to have somebody. And one of the things that I heard with my state workers is that they you know, you got anyway, that the public would think that I'm not doing my job. Now I can tell you that if you're sitting at a desk wrong and you have an injury from sitting at your desk wrong, it is harder than somebody who has a lifting injury to get you better. So I don't care what the public thinks. I'd rather have you get up and moving and do something little to keep yourself going, because those are the hardest injuries for me to get going. Is somebody who sits at it, well, it's a light duty job. Anyway,
Did you hurt yourself?
anyway, so there's my 2 cents on that. So move, that's like the gist of this whole thing.
The Pacific Northwest Conference, I'd like to present you with the certificate of appreciation.
Well, thank you.
And if you would join me in a round of applause.
And if you have other questions that you don't want to ask, you know, that was brave of you. I'm here to answer questions.
What did you
And
And
So-
I'll be collecting the evaluation slips.
And then we have